I have a quick website review for Sarah of Bear Hunt Photography. And Sarah, I really, really hope that these little tips and tweaks can help you book more clients, get more clients to stick around on your page, to get them finding what they're looking for on there. So, the first thing that I noticed when I came to this page, to your home page, is that it says bear hunt, but it doesn't say photography. So, for somebody who's maybe looking for a family photographer, since it seems like you do family photography, if they hop onto your website and then they see a bunch of wedding pictures, they might not really understand that you're a photographer. They might think, oh, maybe this is a wedding vendor. I went wrong. So I just add photography on there somehow. And then I was thinking here in your intro too that you talk about how you're a personal documenter, reporter, visual biographer. But for somebody who's looking for a photographer who's not in this magical headspace that you are right at that moment. They're just looking like, oh, you're a documenter, maybe you make videos, reporter, oh, I'm in the wrong place. So I maybe start, or I don't know, maybe write something around, I'm so much more than a photographer, or somehow bring the photographer element in here, or something like, I don't want to be restricted by being labeled as a photographer. I don't know. I just feel like something like that could really help people when they come to your website. And because I look through your portfolio and contact pages, I know that you want to shoot other things than weddings. So I think you should change up this slideshow so that it shows more of the type of works that you want to shoot. And it looks to me like this is all from the same wedding. I'm not 100% sure, but if it is, I'd change that up too, even if weddings is the only thing you want to shoot. So, looking at your portfolio, when I go here, I see lifetimes and then for the public good. The more you know, I think these are really going to be really confusing for people to understand what they're about. Um, I know, because I've been looking around your website. I know by lifetimes you mean everything from newborns and babies to families to weddings to final days. So I would really, really have those categories in here. I would say newborns and babies, family, weddings, etc. And then these two that are personal projects or charity projects or small business projects, I'd have them separate as like volunteering or small business photography, something like that. I just make it really, really clear for someone who's looking for a specific type of photography so that they'll know that you offer what they're looking for. One thing with going into the portfolio, because they're on a separate site or they're on Pixieset, these are not going to help your SEO. So I would really love for you to get your portfolio onto your actual website. I like that you have the name birth here. That makes it really clear. But then the early days, mid days, later days. If I was looking for a wedding photographer, I don't know if that's mid days or later days or where to go. Like, I just make it really, really clear so that people know what to expect. And I had a bit of a look of the early days, and I would really take the amount of pictures you have in these portfolios down. Like, you don't need both of these. You don't need all three of these. All the pictures that are really similar, I take out so that you're showing a good mix of sessions. And one thing I'm noticing is that some pictures look like maybe they are from a wedding or some type of event. So I would put them in the wedding gallery and not have the kids a separate thing, unless it's something like this where you really can't tell whether they're at home or at a church or wherever. On the About Me page, you have this picture and then you have this next picture, and they're really similar, so I just take one of them out and change into something very different. This picture confused me a little on your about page because I don't know if it's somehow personal to you or if this is a client or what it is. So I would keep your about page pretty clear, that it's about you, and and have everything that's in there be meaningful. And then you have this quote by David Hearn, and I would just make sure that you have the right to use this picture in here. But I love this quote. So on this prices page, you tell me I can't tell you the cost, which I think might turn some people off. If you have an item saying something about prices, you really need to give people something, maybe starting prices for births, portraits, and weddings, so that they get a bit of an idea of what to expect. So what I would do instead is maybe call this details, since you do give details down here, and just move this up and add your starting prices as part of the details. As far as the contact page or the contact form goes, I love Complete Me. But I think there's so much stuff on here, and this is pretty intimidating for somebody to fill out because it feels like they're already maybe committing to a whole lot of stuff if they're writing all of this out. I might even have one like email me here, like a mail to link, because some people are just scared of contact forms. So someone can just shoot you an email in case they're scared. But here I feel like time of booking is unnecessary because as the photographer, you might be the expert, or you are the expert, but you might be the one defining the time that works best for the type of session that they want. Address or location of booking, I'd maybe just put something like city or something. Type of session, there's a whole lot in here. I'd really narrow this down to like the top 3 things you want to do, and then have other in there, top 3 to 5 maybe, and then other, because this can be very confusing. Maybe someone wants a newborn session, but they want a documentary newborn session, so they don't know what to check. Same with duration of booking, because you are the expert. You might be the one who has to explain to them how long the session needs to be. Like maybe someone says we want less than 2 hours when your newborn minimum maybe is 3 hours. Where did you hear about me? There's so many options in here. I just restrict it to maybe Google search, referrals, social media, and other. If someone knows you personally or as a previous client, they probably aren't using this contact form anyway. And please include as much information as you think I may need. This is a lot for someone to write out, especially if they're maybe planning a wedding and they could write like several letter-sized things about the important details of their day. This is a chance for you to connect with them when you're on a call with them or meet them. You can ask them about all this stuff and get discussions going. The client galleries is maybe not something you need to have on your website, because you're going to send them a link to their gallery anyway, and this is not something. Your website is kind of a place for new people to find you, and this is not something that's for new people. So one thing I noticed was that there's not really a clear place here where there would be testimonials, but I found them kind of at the bottom of the home page. And even then, like I got confused for a little bit because I saw this Nicole without seeing the nice things humans said and thought, oh, is Nicole the name of the photographer? But then like I remember that you're Sarah, so then I started looking around like, oh, I see, this is testimonials. So it kind of looks like it might be like a little about me section. So I'd make this more prominent, maybe move it up here or up here. And just a quick note about the testimonials, things like they are amazing, that's not going to be really helpful to you. It might not get clients who are maybe hesitant or wondering who you are as a person. This is not helpful to them. Like it's really great that people have loved your pictures, but it's more helpful when a client is like Nicole here and talks about the experience with you. So the one way to get those types of testimonials that can really work for you is to ask your past clients some questions. You can email them asking, "Hey, did you have any hesitations when you wanted to, or when you were thinking about booking me? How were those hesitations addressed? Did the thing I was worried about happen? How did I feel during my session or during the wedding day? And what was the reaction to the pictures?" Stuff like that will be really helpful for a client who's kind of hesitant, and they'll see themselves in that situation versus just hearing about how amazing your photography is. They've seen your work on your website, so they already know it's amazing, right? Yeah, that's all I have. I hope that this was helpful to you. I really think you're a really talented photographer, and just with some tweaks to your website, you're gonna have no trouble getting booked up, I think. Bye, Sarah.